I want to start this series today called The Body is Divinely Designed. We just want to get this message out to more people so that you can be encouraged and be excited about what it is that your body is doing for you to heal itself. And so one of the things that I just wanted to share with you, just a couple of fun facts about the body. Again, when we say these bodies are amazing, that is so, so true. So think about this. Your heart beats about 100,000 times every year. And if you live to be just to the age of 30, your heart will beat 1 billion times. Can you believe that? And it's your brain, the back of the brain, that does that automated thing like your heart beating and the breathing. Your body is on call for you 24/7, every second of the day. That's pretty amazing. That's just one way to give you an idea of just how amazing these bodies really are. And another little fun fact here, just about the blood vessels. If you were to stretch out the blood vessels end to end, it could wrap around the earth like 4 times. That's amazing. All of these little intricacies about our bodies are simply amazing. So we want to dig into this. So the first thing, this is another one. So while you're awake, so not only are we like a living, breathing being, but we're even emitting energy. So while you're awake, you can produce enough energy to light up a light bulb. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? So our bodies produce energy along with all these other things like actual energy. So as we think about these amazing facts, just to get you into this mindset of like, wow, this body really is amazing. It's designed by God. That's what I believe. And I know so many of you believe that as well. So if you relate to what I'm saying, give me a thumbs up or a heart here, and we're going to dive in. So what I want to share with you in this Divinely Designed series is actually what are some of the things that we can do to start to see that manifestation in our own body. So for some of you, you may be discouraged in this moment, thinking that, maybe your body's not behaving as you would like it to, or maybe you feel like things are breaking down or slowing down. If you're feeling that way at all, then I want to encourage you to understand that maybe what's missing is just giving your body the right information. What may be missing is some of these basic pillars. So what are some of the things that we can do so that we can start to see the body heal itself? We can start to see these pain signals and different things go away. And so the most powerful weapon, we're going to start with some different pillars, but today we're going to start with one of the most powerful weapons, one of the most powerful things that you can do to start to see that divine design of your body. I have it's this right here. I'm in my office, so it's plastic, but it's the fork. What you choose to eat, what you put in your body is one of your most powerful weapons to heal. So this can either feed illness or it can feed wellness. It can feed disease or it can feed recovery. So what you choose to eat is so important. And how many of you have problems with this fork situation? How many of you, if you can relate, give me a thumbs up or a heart if you know like, hey, I've got to do it with the fork. I've got to make the right decision as it relates to the food choices, as it relates to what you put in your body. If you can identify that sometimes you have issue with this fork, give me a thumbs up or give me a heart there. Again, share this with someone who needs to hear this information about the great design of our bodies and how we can start to tap into the healing. So again, this is one of the biggest things we can do is take charge of what we do with this fork. So what are some of the basic things we can do? I think when you talk about changing diet, I see so many different extremes. I see so many different choices that people make. And I want to talk a little bit about that. And I want us to think about making it simple, because for some people, it can be pretty overwhelming to think about having to completely change their diet. And some of you guys have done some pretty significant changes, like maybe you've gone vegetarian or you've gone vegan. There's some different things that you've done. What I want to encourage you to do, and there's nothing wrong with any of that, all of these things can be great. It's just a matter of getting in whole foods, healthy foods. So here's the deal. We get overwhelmed with these things and we feel like we have to, just totally trash everything we're doing and start over. What I want you to think about is what is a simple thing that you can do? And maybe the first thing you do is not think about taking away, but think about what you can add. What is a simple thing that you can add to your regimen that will get you to being more in charge as it relates to this fork? What are some simple things that you can do related to that? And a simple thing that you can do, I'm going to start with something that doesn't have to do with the fork necessarily, but it's about hydration. So make sure that you're hydrating yourself. That is super important. At minimum, 64 ounces of water a day, but even more so, think about getting about half your body weight up to 100 ounces of water a day. That is super important because you want to flush the body. Your kidneys are one of your major detox organs. So you want to flush those kidneys and get those toxins out of your system. And one of the simplest, easiest ways to do that is to make sure that you're getting in your water. So make sure you're getting in your water. That's a simple thing. And then that's something you can add, right? You can add more water to your regimen. That's something you do. I have a bottle, make something that's appealing to you in your eyesight so that you can drink it every day. Something else that you can do is adding more vegetables. This is something that I think a lot of us are missing, adding more vegetables to the diet. It's said that you should have at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. I think for most people, it's easier to add fruit than vegetables. So add more vegetables. I don't know about you, but I'm a person that I don't like to eat salad all the time. So I need other ways for me to get my vegetables in. And so that's usually looking at the meal plate. Think about having half of that or more of that plate with vegetables on it. And then you have a smaller portion of a protein, and you may or may not choose to have a starch or something starchier on that plate. So getting in more vegetables is something that you can do. Drinking more water are some easy things that you can do. I also want you to think about your own eating habits and what is that one thing that tends to derail you, or what is that one thing that you're having trouble with on a regular basis, and how can you just take that out? So for some of you, it may be soda. So your pop. Okay. So your first thing to do might be just to remove soda from your diet. And with that one action, you're removing excess caffeine, you're removing potentially excess sugar. And even if you're drinking diet soda, it doesn't matter because it still is giving you that sweetness and that potential urge to have more sweet. So when they've done research studies, people who drink diet soda versus people who drink regular soda, their weights don't change. It doesn't really make an impact on your health, at least not in a positive way. And some of the synthetic sweeteners are actually more harmful. So when we think about the diet, the power of the fork, this is the first thing that we can take control of as it relates to seeing that divine design in our own lives. So you want to think about what you can add, getting in more hydration. What are some simple things that you can take away and identify what that is for you specifically. Another thing that you can do is think about what are some of the, and I want to go over this, some of the foods that are highly inflammatory. Start removing those things first. So the list of foods that tend to be highly inflammatory, it's going to be dairy, it's going to be gluten. And when I say gluten, that's a protein in wheat. And so wheat containing things for a lot of people can be inflammatory. And some of it is because of what's sprayed on the crops, the chemicals and things that people respond to. Processed foods, sugar. So if you can start to eliminate some of those things, you can start to see your body improve in a lot of different areas. And for some of you, understand that if you're eating inflammatory foods, it can manifest itself in a lot of different ways. So one of the principles of functional medicine and getting to the root cause is this idea that one root cause can manifest itself in a lot of different ways. And in the same way, getting rid of that root cause or one solution can also show a benefit in a lot of different areas. So sort of like the root on a tree. If you fix the root, you'll see the branches and the leaves and all of those things get better. And it's true as it relates to your diet. So one of the things that you want to be aware of is that you may be having some symptoms that seem unrelated. So maybe you're tired, maybe you have brain fog, maybe you're having skin eruptions, rashes, things like that. Maybe your gut is out of order with diarrhea, constipation, indigestion. Anybody experiencing any of these things? Give me a thumbs up or a heart if you're dealing with any of those things, and understand that if you clean up your diet, get control of this fork, you can see some really great improvement in a lot of those areas. And what you're doing is you're calming down inflammation and giving your body an opportunity to start to heal and repair. So again, think about things that you can do simply. Add more vegetables. Most people don't have any issue adding fruit. Add more water. water. Again, a minimum 64 ounces, or ideally about half of your body weight in ounces of water, up to about 100 ounces. Another thing that you can do is reduce inflammatory foods. What are those foods? It's going to be sugar is a big one, just excess sugar. It's going to be processed foods. It's going to be dairy for a lot of you. And I know that may be a little bit of a sensitive topic, but dairy can be inflammatory for a lot of people. And then also the highly processed things. So if you can just start, and for you, maybe it's just one, just start with one, make that step, make that commitment. And then how do you stick to the commitment? I think that's a tough one because a lot of us will start and stop, start and stop. One of the ways that you can stick to it is get some accountability. And so share with a friend, like, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing. Maybe they will join you in that journey and you can do it together. Or you can report back, hey, this is what I'm doing and this is how it went for me over the past few days. You can also use apps on your phone as a way to give accountability. And that's something that I love to do. Sometimes I do accountability with, friends. And then sometimes I also will use an app for accountability. So I like the habit list so that I can say, so one of the things that I also incorporate as far as being in control of the fork as it relates to really allowing that divine design to come forth and allowing the body to heal is to do some intermittent fasting. And so with intermittent fasting, the idea is that you're going to eat during a window of time and you're going to fast during a window of time to give your body an opportunity to repair, to give the digestive system a break. One of the most common ways to do intermittent fasting is to eat in an 8-hour window and then to fast over 16 hours. So maybe 12 noon to 8 p.m. would be your eating window. And then 8 p.m. until 12 noon the next day is the fasting window. There's a great app that actually one of my patients told me about. Shout out to Sarah. It's called Body Fast. And you set the times that you want to do your fasting. You set the times of your eating window. And it's really cool because it'll give you a little prompt like, okay, you've got 6 more hours left to eat. Now, in some ways that's good. Sometimes that's bad. If you're one of those people that can be afraid, like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get my food in. But it also tells you during that fasting window, like when you wake up the next morning and you're skipping breakfast, you get that nice little encouragement where it says, hey, you're burning fat right now. So you feel good about that and you are encouraged to continue in your fasting window. So if you're doing some intermittent fasting, Body Fast is a great way for accountability. It's an app. I also like the habit list, which allows me to check off things. So one of the things that I want to do is stop eating by 8 p.m. on certain days. So that is another tool that I use to keep myself accountable to the changes that I'm trying to make. So we're talking about this idea that your body is divinely designed. We're going to start a series, and there's certain pillars and things that you can do to start to see that manifest in your own body. Again, our bodies have a great capacity to heal. We just need to feed it the right things, the right information. And the most powerful thing you can do is to get what's happening with this fork down. And again, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Do something simple. So add more vegetables because most of us are lacking in that. Drink your water so that you can flush your body, get those kidneys working for you, which is one of your major detox organs. Also, something you can do, making sure that you take out some of those inflammatory foods. So what are those inflammatory foods for most people? Dairy, gluten, processed foods, excess sugar. Start taking those things out. Even if you start with one thing at a time, get comfortable with that, and then add another, and then give yourself some accountability. So again, whether it's with a friend or if it's something digital like an app, give yourself some accountability so you can stick to it and then track your progress. For some of you, weight loss is a goal, but before you even get to the weight loss, you need to think about who is it that I'm trying to become in this process. I want to be healthier. I want to make better decisions as far as my health, and I want that to become easier. So if you're thinking about who you're trying to become and not just focused on, I need to lose 20 pounds, then you work on the habit. You work on the habits that are necessary in order to get to the goal. And so the habits are drinking more water, reducing those inflammatory foods, adding more vegetables, keep track of those habits. And once you get those in place, you will see some of those other benefits and the goals that you've manifested for yourself you'll see those come to pass. So again, I'm Dr. Malika Woods, medical doctor and healthy lifestyle strategist at Dr. Woods Wellness. I'm coming to you on Thursdays at noon Central with a word on wellness. And we are in the beginning of a series called Divinely Designed. I believe our bodies are divinely designed and have a great capacity to heal. And one of the most powerful things that you can do right away is to keep control of what's happening with this fork. And that's one of the first steps so that you can start to see the healing in your own body. I will be coming to you next week, same time, same place. And we'll talk about what are some of the other pillars, what are some of the other basic things that we can do to start to see our bodies heal on their own. Looking forward to seeing you next time. If you've got any questions, please throw them in the chat. If this has been helpful, give me a thumbs up or a heart, and I will see you next time. And be sure to share this with a friend as well. All right, we will see you next time.